champ is here.
But you haven't done anything yet.
I've done everything.
Are we gonna start redacting things now? Because
no, we're not redacting anything.
This is where it's going right now.
It's not. It's the champ. Don't worry about it.
All right, we're not going to talk about it.
More might be revealed next week.
About it.
But all I know right now is
I am going to adjust the mic a little bit.
I'm not going to let my belt get snatched away yet.
All right.
At least you hope not.
I'm going to grab my water. Keep talking.
Jesus, Jason.
I know. Leave me alone.
In front of the camera.
Shut up.
Doing nothing.
What are you talking about?
God, where's my Google Docs? Because I
right
didn't write down on the board. So I was lazy. And I was watching Return of the Jedi, which is so great.
Yes.
All right.
Better than The Last Jedi.
Much better than The Last Jedi.
Yes.
But we're past that.
Have you guys looked at the
But I
document this week?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I can't wait to spring the Thoughtable on you guys. It's fucking ridiculous and hilarious.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
And it's gonna. I want real thought put into it. I don't want your first answer. I want you to think. But
Okay.
anyways, the main topic, and that will actually lighten up because we're going to talk about something serious to start off with.
I don't want to talk about this.
We're going to talk about
I don't want to talk about this at all.
Apartheid in South Africa. It's not good.
Well, that too.
Well,
Yeah,
that's over and done with. Which so totally off subject. I found this out the other day. So in the first Lethal Weapon movie, there's all kinds of anti-apartheid like background stuff like bumper stickers, T-shirts, things like that.
Right.
Really?
And so Richard Donner, people threatened his life from South Africa for that because he left it in the movie, and that is why Lethal Weapon 2 is all about apartheid. Because you don't tell Richard Donner what can be in his movie, because then he'll make a whole fucking movie about it. So that is.
And he'll go send the mom from Gremlins to go take your shit out.
Wow.
Which, by the way, the mom from Gremlins, her last name's McCain. I may be related to her because she's from Western Pennsylvania, where my grandparents are from.
You might be, but that's a fictional character, so.
No.
The
actress who plays.
Oh, okay.
The actress who plays.
It's like,
Yeah.
But the mom from Gremlins, I don't know the last time you saw Gremlins. She's a badass. She almost
took out like 5 Gremlins.
She almost ended the problem before it was a problem.
Honestly,
because Spike got away.
One got away.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I watch that every Christmas.
Yeah, like I watched it with Josh's time, and I was like, I forgot. Like I never realized that she almost ended the problem before it was a problem.
I love Gremlins because it's a comedy, it's a fun action movie, and it's part horror. Like it's got like all kinds of cool things.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yep. So, anyways, our main topic, we're going to talk about Logan Paul.
Another gremlin.
An idiot. So here's the thing, like, and this is what kind of irritates me a lot is like, Sean is one of those kids who watches Logan Paul because he does stupid Vine type videos where they just do pranks, and it was kind of like I would watch. I was like, this is idiotic, but it's harmless.
Yeah,
because they're just pranking each other. It's like
a
mild version of Jackass.
Yeah, I remember
so
there was actually a couple of videos I saw that kind of.
And I even told Sean, I was like, this guy's an idiot. Don't do anything in these videos. But I was like, I just looked at this harmless fun, and this popped up. And Sean actually saw the stupid video that we're talking about. Yeah. Luckily, I don't think he kind of understood everything that was going on in it, because I didn't get any questions from him.
Right.
Because I would find Logan Paul and beat the shit out of him if that would have traumatized my kid.
Right.
Look, and I'm not even like, that's not hyperbole. I would legitimately find him and beat him within an inch of his life, and his stupid ass brother too.
Yeah, we won't talk about his brother either. Well,
yeah.
I won't at least.
But yeah, to catch everybody up on the video, if you haven't seen it yet, it's been taken down. Logan Paul was in the Suicide Forest, which is someplace I actually wanted to go while we were in Japan.
Wait, you wanted to go to the Suicide Forest?
Yeah, I wanted to check. Well, I wanted to also climb Mount Fuji, but the reason why we didn't do either was Mount Fuji was closed in April.
Well, because it's cold.
So?
You could die. It's kind of like the whole reason why it's closed in April. And
have you seen the traffic in Japan? I could die just walking across the street.
Then you've never been to China, because you will die trying to cross the street.
China and Vietnam are two places I will never go to just because of the traffic. But no, I actually wanted to go there and check it out. And also, I don't believe in superstitions. Like, I'm not a superstitious person.
Right.
So, and also, part of me wanted to drag Keen to the Suicide Forest because he's a coward.
He just wanted to troll him.
I wanted to traumatize Keenan because I'm an asshole. But yeah, no, I wanted to check it out, and I would have been like, let's say, like, because I was checking in for the podcast while I was over there. Let's say the same thing would happen. Oh, well, I'll explain it first. I gotta explain the whole video. So Logan Paul and his cronies are at the Suicide Forest, and they come across a man who had hung himself. And for those of you who don't know, suicide rates in Japan, especially among older businessmen, are extremely high because they're cultured into you have to be the best, you have to be successful, and it's a lot of stress, and a lot of people just can't cope with it, and they kill themselves. Like, there are a lot of reports of like businessmen throwing themselves out of buildings, like skyscrapers and shit like that, because they just can't cope with the stress of, and it's kind of almost self-imposed stress too, at the same time. So there's a
well, no, I think a lot of it is it's cultural.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, but
Yeah, so
and they impose it on this episode. Like the suicide rate in Japan is, I believe, number 1 in the first world.
yeah,
But,
I believe it.
So they're walking through the suicide forest, and it's called the suicide forest because for whatever reason, that's where a lot of people go to kill themselves.
Yeah.
They come across a man who had hung himself, and they instantly, like, I don't want to say make jokes because I don't want to misrepresent it because I haven't seen the whole video. I've just seen like clips of it.
From what I've heard, Logan Paul immediately tried to flip it into a self-serving.
Yeah, they take
type
it.
of
They
thing.
take it very lightly. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't really take the gravity of the situation, and then they start doing sake shots in the parking lot after they've left and stuff like
Right.
that. And it's just very distasteful, disrespectful, and like I was going to allude to, had I actually gone to the suicide forest while I was in Japan, and I would have come across a dead body, I wouldn't have filmed it at all. I would have reported it to some sort of authority. That would have been my first reaction. Well, my first reaction would have been like, is this person dead? Okay, they are dead. Let me go report this to authority. Because if they had not died yet, if I just came across them actually hanging themselves, I've done everything I could to help them. But my next reaction would be go to the authorities, like find, I guess the equivalent to a park ranger, because I would assume that area being around Mount Fuji, there's got to be some sort of authority there. So I'd have gone to get them, and I probably, like, if I would have checked in for the podcast, that I would have brought it up, but in a very respectful manner and respectful to suicide, and would have brought up suicide prevention, which what I will do is link in below at least one suicide prevention website. If I find multiple, I will link multiple.
I'm sure I think there's a national hotline.
Yeah, because it's very serious. I mean, I'll go into my own later on in the thing. I'll talk about my own thoughts of suicide that I had at one point in my life, and it's very serious for me. So I don't take this kind of thing lightly, because suicide is a very extreme problem. Because most people who do it don't see a way out.
Right.
They feel trapped. They feel like this is the only way they can cope with their problems, and I feel taking it lightly is very disrespectful. And not only just disrespectful to the person who killed themselves, but also I feel Logan Paul, in what he did, was disrespectful to the Japanese culture.
Right.
Overall, and everything like that. So, and like I mentioned, like my son had seen the video, and I would have legitimately brought harm to Logan Paul had that happened.
Actually,
Had, like, you've been traumatized
real
by-
quick though, today I did see someone posted, and it wasn't your typical like, oh, here's another Logan Paul video. This is in case you're pissed off about his previous video, this is what he posted afterward, and it was him, like the rest of his Japanese excursion, and all I could do is think, man, why doesn't anyone just punch him in the fucking face? He was acting like such a dickhead.
Probably. But he also offered like 2 different apologies. Both were very self-serving.
Very self-serving.
I've
And
heard
not-
that they were monetized.
And not, probably, and
Not
not very
discussed.
like apologetic so much as like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm regretful for what I did, but oh, I'm sorry there's a backlash. Because at his Twitter apology, he at the very end had hashtag, whatever, like Logan Paul gang, but it's not Logan Paul gang, it's like abbreviated.
Low gang, I believe.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I can't really take any apology serious if you hashtag it.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I think my biggest problem outside of that is YouTube did nothing about it.
Because he makes YouTube money.
Yeah, but PewDiePie made YouTube money, and we already discussed PewDiePie, and they knocked him
Well,
down.
so
Even worse,
it
though.
has to get to a point where YouTube
Advertisers
is going to
complain,
lose money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From of course.
Well, even worse though, I heard this on another podcast this morning, the Bizarre States podcast with Jessica Chobot and Andrew Bowser. Bowser, by the way, was getting just as pissed off as his show. By the way, he didn't want to even say his name.
I don't want
But
to.
I
bring
heard
credit to
that-
him at all.
I heard fuck, I lost my complete train of thought. Damn it. But go ahead. I can.
But yeah, it's just like there's so many different things. Like A, the disrespectfulness. B, like our YouTube page has been affected by the PewDiePie thing, with the adpocalypse and stuff like that. And it's like not only us but other creators like Boogie, Funhouse, The No, Rooster Teeth in general, and various others who I'm not 100% familiar with. But they're all angry about it because they're not as big as Logan Paul, and his stupidity affects all of us. Because if YouTube like gets affected again by this, what is going to be the new thresholds for ads, and how are they going to age gate and drop things? Because it's like on The No, Ashley and Mika were talking about, it's like, oh, you can't have like a thumbnail of a character from a video game holding guns, but you can go.
Well, you can have a dead body in your thumbnail.
Yeah, exactly. Because the body was in the fucking thumbnail.
And YouTube did nothing to take it down. In fact, what I heard was Logan Paul.
He took it down after all the outcry.
And then now I remember what I was going to say. What I heard was that YouTube did nothing, but people that had reaction videos, like, or talking about how shitty this was, those videos are getting taken down.
So the only video that I did see came from this 13-year-old kid defending Logan Paul.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Like,
his video before he took it down had over 600,000 likes.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like, people, like, YouTubers, one thing I saw was Boogie, he posted a bunch of stuff on Twitter about it, and, like, he posted, like, comments about other YouTubers complaining about it, how these Logan Paul fans are just straight up attacking these YouTubers for saying that Logan Paul was in the wrong, and I even told Sean, like, after this all happened, I was like, you are not allowed to watch him or his brother at all. It's like, it's not harmless fun anymore. And I was like, and you're on my YouTube account. I trust you to do the right thing. I trust you to listen to me. So I'm not going to age gate. I'm not going to block it and require a pin. But if I catch you watching any of that shit, I was like, oh, I didn't say shit. But if I catch you watching any of that, I will block you from YouTube. Like, you will have zero access to YouTube, because he loves YouTube, because he'll watch it a lot for, like, mostly what he watches is, like, sports highlights.
Right.
Yeah.
Things like that. And then he'll watch, like, toy unboxing, things like that.
Maybe some Minecraft.
Like, we really need to tap into that kid market. That's where we'll make our money. We got to figure out videos for kids. Maybe
stop swearing.
I know. That's impossible. But, no, so it's like, that's what he mostly watches. And then he'd watch, like, and the Logan Paul videos he watched were like the compilations of the Vine so much, but I thought it was like, no, you're not allowed to watch this guy anymore because it's not good for you. So I will check my history daily just to make sure. And so far, so good. Since I told him no, he hasn't done it.
Well, I think that Sean's pretty good at listening when you ban something.
Yeah, he is pretty good about it. And I showed him the video on the
There's a
no,
reason for it, yeah.
where the no basically explained why it was wrong and things like that. So, because I wanted him to get the gravity. This isn't just Dad saying no.
Right.
Like,
there's a reason behind
because in that video though, it showed like the Funhouse guys and other people he watches on YouTube. So when it's like not just Dad saying no, but other people he likes to watch on YouTube saying, "Hey, this guy's an idiot."
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of hit it home.
He's always been an idiot. Like I have never been a fan of him.
No, I haven't either.
Before this, I'm like.
But like I said, like the videos I'd seen of his, it was stupid pranks. So I was like, I talked to Sean about it when I watched it because I just came to his room. He's watching. I was like, hey, you know not to do this, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah. These guys are idiots. It's fine if you want to watch and laugh at it. Because like I watch Jackass.
Yeah, we all like when we all watch
it too, though. But that's just me.
I don't know, something about a man like getting hit in the nuts is hilarious.
Something about Brad Pitt dressing up like a gorilla and like smashing other people with
when they abducted Brad Pitt. That was the best ever. So like it was like a premiere of a Brad Pitt movie, and he like all these fans were lined up to see it, and Brad Pitt just shows up, like starts talking to fans stuff like that, and the Jackass guys dressed as monkeys pull up in a van and abduct Brad Pitt, and he plays along, starts screaming for help and stuff like that, and you see all these people just like. Brad Pitt just kidding.
Wow. It was actually the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
Though the weird thing is, I can't find
No, you can't find it anywhere.
Oh no!
in air
I was
like
actually
once.
really?
Really?
able to find the abduction one. I can't find the one where he's dressed up as a gorilla in the shopping parking lot along with the Jackass guys doing shopping.
I wonder if there's some sort of thing in the contract. Yeah, this can only be shown once. kind of
Maybe.
thing
Yeah,
like that.
but
But back on
yeah,
subject, because
yeah,
we're talking about an
yeah.
idiot, not. Well, they're idiots too. But
yeah.
they at least.
But at least they had a little
at
bit of
least their
decorum.
idiocy was contained to themselves.
Yeah, they knew the lines that should not be crossed and stayed away from those.
Yeah.
Crossed
but-
the other lines instead.
Yeah, and then after that's happened, like, I didn't even know Logan Paul had a brother. But, like,
Yeah,
his
neither
brother
did
seems
I.
to be even worse than him. Like, I started seeing, like, videos about what he would do to, like, so I guess he bought a mansion with his YouTube money and then built, like, rooms within, like, the main foyer and, like, he would have, like, interns, like, these two twin boys who were foreign, couldn't place their accent. I would say it's somewhere in Southern Europe, Middle East area, kind of area like that. And how, like, Jake Paul would make them do all these stupid things and constantly harass them. And they, like, showed clips in their YouTube video of, like, just the abuse they took.
Right.
And it's just like, what kind of a fucking sociopath is this? And they're just terrible, terrible people. And it's a damn shame, A, that they have such a big following.
But
But
in this day and age, you kind of come to expect that type of thing. Look at Kim Kardashian. She's really she's not a role model. Like,
no.
how did she come to fame?
Taking it up the butt from Ray J.
But
Because I didn't know who the hell she was until after that.
But
That's
how many
very
followers
true.
does she have now? I mean, like,
It's
it's a cult. You know what I mean? Like, not only is it her, but it's her entire family. But it's the same thing, you know. With
It's
Jake
ridiculous,
and
yeah.
Logan or whatever.
It's ridiculous. And one of the things, like, A, we act fools sometimes on this, and there's sometimes I play a character on here, like when I'm really, like, goading you guys, you know, playing devil's advocate kind of thing like that. But we do have integrity here. Like, I will sacrifice subscription viewers to keep our integrity, to keep, like, hey, this is all good fun, and when I am being a jackass, it's being a jackass in this room to just us for entertainment, for laughs. I'm not going to go take it out into public like a moron.
No, sometimes you do take it public. Back me up.
I was gonna let him go with his soapbox message, but all right.
Oh no, but I'm just like, but nah, but it's like, yeah, you're right.
But even when he does take it out of this room, it's still
It's mild.
It's better than.
It's still not. It's still in fun. Some people might not get that joke. There have been times,
but it's never harmful to other people.
Oh no! It's not like you set something up to where I just get like lambasted or like fucking hit in the nuts for no reason.
Speaking of that, so for whatever reason, Sean had his wiffle ball bat.
You're actually gonna talk about this.
And he wanted to show me his swing.
He showed him the swing, all right.
I thought he was going to just like, because I was talking about, because I had held the bat previously. It's like, because we were watching some sort of baseball thing,
Right.
And it was like in slow motion. It showed the batter. I'm gonna have to set my title belt. Actually, hold the title belt, so you can be a champ for a second. So I showed him how to swing. So
Not for the same reason though.
Look at this nice red leather.
Sean has gotten into this bad habit. So anybody who knows baseball is when you're up with the swing, you drive your hands right to the ball. So the knob of the bat, you aim at the ball. You drive right to the ball. And a lot of young players, and I did this too when I was younger, will drop their hands first. Like their first motion is drop. And it only takes a split second, but when you get older in baseball, the faster the pitches are coming, that split second can mean a hit and missing the ball completely.
Right.
So me and Harrison, his other coach, we've been working with a swing blade so it goes straight to the ball. So when we were watching some sort of baseball thing, it kind of showed, I want to say it was Ken Griffey Jr., his swing in slow motion, hand straight to the ball, and I like had the wiffle ball back because I was picking it up because he had left it in the living room. I was like, see Sean, straight to the ball. I was like, let me show you, Dad. So I thought he was just going to do this.
Right.
And I'm standing about, this is where we're standing.
That's your first mistake.
He does
Child with the ball.
full
with that.
swing, catches me square in the testicles. Like, there was no, like, nicking the leg, nicking the penis, nicking anything else. Boom, he hit the ball.
I was in the kitchen and all I heard was Josh drop. It's like, get the hell away from me!
Yeah, because Sean, because it was one of those things.
Why
like,
would you do that?
It was like one of those things. Like, had Nelson done it, I would have swung at him. Like, legitimately, if it was an adult who did it,
Why would I even do that?
accident or no,
Granted,
I would
I know
swing
it's-
at them. And I was in such pain and in such anger. All I could tell was, I had to tell my son to get away from me. Because it was just one of those things, like, I don't, like, had he touched me after that, I don't know what I would have done. Because I was in pain and I was enraged. So, he immediately started crying. And I was like, he was like, are you okay? I was like, just leave me alone right now. I was like,
Oh, I gave Josh the appropriate amount of space. I kept messing with my soda stream, trying to make his nice little soda from the
Nelson was like, the alpha is pissed, and I'm just gonna stay away.
So this is all you heard from my end.
And it was so bad, like, I felt like I had to vomit. Like, I had not been hitting the nuts. Like, I'd only been hitting the nuts that bad once, and it was actually in a baseball game where I was trying to field a ground ball, and it took a weird hop and got under my glove and came right up into my balls. That hurt worse because that hit to my nuts made me blind for a second. Like, I legit got hit so hard when I was playing baseball, I could not fucking see.
Oh, that was hibernation sickness.
Yeah, it was so funny too. Like, I remember my coach yelling for me to get the ball, and I yelled back, "I can't fucking see!"
Wow.
So, like, I dropped to my knees. I'm just there. I'm like breathing deeply because, like, just from years of like working out, doing different things, like sports stuff like that. I do know if you control your breathing, it's almost like Lamaze, like that they teach pregnant women. If you can control your breathing, you don't get rid of the pain.
Yeah.
But you can lessen it. And so I was doing that. I was calming down. Sean's crying to me. I was like, come here. I was like, why would you do that? He's like, I was like, no. We don't swing baseball bats in the house. Did you see me take a full swing? He's like, no. I was like, you should never, ever do that. I was like, that is why we have rules in Little League about carrying baseball bats. Like, you can't swing outside the dugout.
Right.
You can't swing inside the dugout. The bats stay on the rack. You don't get to swing until you have to play. It's like, that's why we have rules, because you guys aren't that observant.
Right.
So it was a teaching moment. It was a painful moment. I legit went and got an ice pack out of the freezer, and that stayed on my testicles the rest of the night.
It wasn't the Enzo Amore one, was it?
No, it wasn't. Well, they weren't legit on my testicles. They were outside my pajama pants.
Because I just would have thought it would have been ironic that
I
you were
thought
facing
about it.
yourself with an ice pack that says, how you doing?
I thought about that, but and the only reason why I didn't get the Enzo Amore WWE
Wasn't
Slam
big enough?
plate- Yeah, it wasn't big enough.
Wow.
How you doing, ladies?
Wow.
So no, it was a good like hour before I was feeling like better.
Anything.
Yeah,
Right.
it was.
Yeah, I was like, Josh, you need any help? No, I'm good. I was just sitting on the floor. I was like, all right, I'm going to go downstairs.
Yeah, 'cause
let me
was-
drink my soda.
'cause
through
Shay, you
those.
asked me that, and I was still in the mode. Don't touch me. You had nothing to do with this. I might swing at you though. Just leave me.
I'm totally gonna bring that up when I see him next time. So, show your dad your swing again.
But I feel I handled that pretty well with him because the only time I yelled at him was I told him to get away from me because I was just mad.
And upon
If he's
hindsight,
still
yeah, you
alive, I
did
think
handle
he
that pretty
handled it
well.
Yeah.
If he's still alive, you handled that pretty well.
And I'm just glad it was a wiffle bat and not.
Not like a wooden bat or a
Yeah.
metal bat.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh man.
Which, by the way,
I don't know which one would have carried. I mean, I feel like the wiffle bat would have carried more like speed,
Yeah, but that's more like
kind of like
slap.
like a.
yeah, but it's hollow and it's slap. Like
It's more like a slap.
think about what would hurt you more right now: if I open hand smacked you or if I punched you in the jaw. That's the difference between a wiffle bat and a legit bat.
Yeah.
So.
Man.
Honestly,
Man.
if it was a wooden bat, there's a chance he might have ruptured one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like in spite of his lack of like upper body strength because he's a 9-year-old child, that momentum with like a regular wooden bat that could have ruptured one.
Yeah, I would. That would
At the very least, he might have ruptured the scrotum.
And the thing is, like like a split second before it happened, like the thought in my mind was, I'm staying too close to him, but he's not gonna actually slap.
Oh God damn it!
Like that legitimately went through my mind. It was too late to do anything about it.
Because Sean just put the exclamation point on that thought.
Because it was just kind of like, it's always like when you see somebody doing something stupid, like they're not possibly going to, and you don't even finish the sentence,
Yeah.
and it happens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can laugh about it now, but
Yeah.
oh shit, I was not in a laughing mood.
I don't know how I would have reacted if I actually saw it. I only heard it. If I saw it, I don't know how I would have reacted. Like, oh,
You probably would have laughed, and there would have been shut the fuck up.
I think
actually no. This is probably what would have happened. Holy fucking shit! And then I go back into the kitchen and try to hold in my laughter.
Which, in hindsight, I wouldn't blame you for laughing because let's face it, how many of us have watched like America's Funniest Home Videos where we've seen a dad get smacked in the balls?
Yeah.
Or actually, you know what? Or even more so, how many times have we watched each other ball tap each other?
Because let's face it, nut shots when they don't happen to you are hilarious.
Yeah. Like when I got Devin and he didn't drop his beer. In fact,
That
his
was
arm
great.
went straight up.
Dude, he didn't spill a drop like.
He went straight. His arm went
What
straight
had
up.
happened was.
And then he fell to the ground.
I don't remember who nut tapped Nelson. It could have been me, but someone nut tapped Nelson and he was on the ground. And then Devin was laughing about it, walking by. And then Nelson's hand just fucking furiously.
Show right again.
Whoa! Comes up. Just
Show
catches
you
it perfectly. And Devin just starts crumbling. And his hand goes up to protect the beer. And he doesn't spill a drop. But that also reminds me, I watched a video, like almost like a Vine clip today.
Uh-huh.
Like it popped up as it was for Bills fans, like best fans in America, and I thought it was going to be about them celebrating the Bills, like making the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. Way to go, Buffalo! But no, it was this fan walking to a tailgate in the icy parking lot, slips, beer flies up in the air, catches it, pops it up while he's on his back, mind you, like legit slamming on his back from the ice, catching it, boom, starts chugging it once on the ground.
That's impressive.
It was like not only that he caught it, but like the wherewithal to catch it because I think we've all taken like a tumble on ice where you ain't thinking about much, but that guy was like, because it wasn't a can, it was a bottle, so if that fell, it was breaking. He's like, no!
Paid too much for that.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I just remembered one more nut shot story. You remember when Kevin was trying to quit smoking back when we all worked at Tommy?
Oh yeah, we got the punch him in the nuts where he like lit up. That was fun.
Yeah, the day that he started doing that, he's like, all right, it's like right after his cigarette at Josh's house, and we were both leaving. He's like, all he got out of it was, all right, Nelson, and then I immediately ball tapped him.
Well, you didn't see what I did.
And he dropped.
I don't remember how close it was to when that happened, but when he was doing it, I just kind of like almost did like a Johnny Cage, but not with the splits. I just dropped down, punched him in the nuts. That was with full permission. And he went down.
Yeah, that experiment lasted about maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Before he's like, I can't take it anymore. No more. No more. I'm just gonna smoke.
Which is surprising he has a child, because you would have thought we would have done irreparable damage to him in those 2 weeks.
Hey, that very first one I threw out there, and he dropped in your doorway.
Yeah.
I'm sure I killed a child that night.
Oh, poor Kevin. But so we're gonna lighten up the mood now.
Yeah, how do we get to this place?
Talking about
how did we
Logan
get
Paul's
here?
idiocy. That's
yeah,
pretty much it.
so it was talking about nut shots, stuff like that, so I have to share my own personal experience.
Right.
But to recap, Logan Paul, you're a moron. Your brother's a moron. I feel there's a special circle in hell for people who disrespect that much like that. And I wish I could find the tweet from Matt Pat. Matt Pat had the best response to it. And I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't remember it completely. But he basically said, suicide is not content. It is a serious mental disorder. And it was... it's a cry for help that was not answered.
Yeah.
That went unanswered. If you feel this way, you should... seek help. And actually, I remember I said I was going to share my own personal fight with suicide. So, when so many of you who watch, and obviously you guys know, I went through a divorce. My divorce, and I'm not going to talk too much about it because it involves another person. But my divorce involved my wife being cheating on me. Unfaithful. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, that's the word I'm
Infidelity was the word.
Infidelity. Unfaithful.
But I'm not going to go into too much detail about it. But that like broke my heart because this was the person I was madly in love with. You guys were there for the entire thing. And I had a lot of dark thoughts for a while, like especially because I wasn't sleeping. When it first happened, I would maybe, if I was lucky, get an hour of sleep a night. Like I couldn't even like sleep in my own bedroom. I would like camp out on the couch, TV going on. I would try to put something funny on, like Archer, Family Guy, American Dad, something like that. Something to try to keep my spirits up. Didn't fucking work. And in fact, because of that, because I was watching those things, I couldn't watch those for a while after that because it would bring up those memories. So I was getting zero sleep. So I was depressed. I was getting almost no sleep. I was going to work with no sleep, getting stressed out for work because we were really busy at work. And it was just all coming to a head. And the thoughts crept in my mind, maybe I'm better off dead. Maybe I should just get my gun out and blow my brains out, throw myself off a building. Those thoughts crept in my head. What stopped me was I have a son, and I was like, what would this do to him? Like, he's already going through his parents getting a divorce. What would go through his head if his dad killed himself? And that's what stopped me, was I could not do that to my son, which is why I always had this kind of like thought about people who are suicidal being cowards, and I do sympathize with it because, like I said, I've had those dark thoughts too. But I don't think a lot of people who commit suicide realize the effect it has on the people around them, because
That actually care about them.
even if you think no one cares about you, there's at least one person who does. Be it your mom, your dad, a friend, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, a husband, a child,
a coworker.
Yeah, a coworker.
You know,
it's like
it
there
doesn't have to be
is
one.
somebody, at least one person, definitely probably more, but I will say there was at least one person there who, if you killed yourself, you would horrifically negatively affect somebody. Which is
you
why-
would literally change their life forever.
For the worse. Which is why, if you have those thoughts, you should reach out. And it doesn't necessarily, I would say reach out to a professional, but it doesn't even have to be a professional. It can be a friend. It can be a coworker. It can be someone you trust. Just reach out to them. Shit, it could even be your dog. I had so many conversations with my two dogs at the time. Not serious conversations, but it was a being, a creature who got me, who understood me. And because, like, your pets will definitely understand if you're not 100%. They get it. They might not know exactly what's going on, but they get that you're not
They
right.
sense it.
Yeah.
I mean, just sometimes talking to my dogs, just sharing my feelings with them. And they didn't know what I was saying, but they were listening. They were there for me. Just sharing your feelings with somebody.
They can tell that your emotional state, and they will try to comfort you as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things. It's just like, talk to somebody. Like, I would suggest professional help, but if you're not comfortable talking to a therapist, a psychiatrist, somebody like that, talk to a friend, talk to a loved one, talk to a mom, talk to a dad, aunt, uncle, cousin, brother, sister.
Just talk to
There is
somebody.
somebody who will listen.
Talk to
Fuck it.
somebody.
Tweet at us. We'll talk to you. We have our Twitter handles down here. Nelson always puts those in there. Tweet at us. DM us. Message us on this video. If you just need someone to talk to, we will talk to you. I've actually worked for a suicide hotline, volunteered college, because you had to do, it was either Mason or Nova, you had to have community service. I've done that. I've talked to
Pretty
people.
sure that was Mason. I don't remember having to do that at Nova.
Okay, so it must have been Mason. But yeah, just talk to somebody. Like I said, you can tweet at us. We will talk to you. Like, we don't know you personally, but we will talk to you. We will tell you, keep going. Because it only can get better. Like, as bad as you think things are, they will always get better. And this is what I learned about life, like going through that, going through those emotions, like even being suicidal. Life is made up of good and bad. The bad and the good never outweigh each other. They are just things that happen. And the good moments always seem fleeting because you're so happy, and those things do go by quickly. But almost they never last longer or last less than the bad things. The bad things just seem longer because whenever we're going through any kind of pain, whether it be physical or emotional, it always seems to last longer. And a lot of times it's a lot less. Like, the happy moments, usually when you actually look at the time, last longer, but they don't feel like it, because when you're going through distress, when you're going through emotional or physical pain, it just seems to last longer. But there's always the light at the end of the tunnel. That will pass. Like, one of my all-time favorite songs that actually got me through the divorce was George Harrison's song. It's called All Things Must Pass. And that's basically what it is. It's talking about, it's like, yes, this moment in my life is terrible, but it will pass. Just like everything ends at some point. So no matter how bad things are going through you right now, eventually you will get through it. And you will be a better person because of it, because you'll learn from it. And you will know whatever caused that pain, that emotional pain, you'll know not to do that again. You'll know to stay away from it. Whether it be drugs, whether it be, just dating toxic people. Because I think we've all been there where we've dated somebody who we knew wasn't good for us. Our friends told us weren't good for us, and we did it anyways, because we thought we knew better. So that's a lesson we've all learned, and you'll learn it too, which is why I say, like, just talk to somebody. That's all you can do. And it's like there's somebody out there who cares about you, who will definitely be very negatively affected if you take your own life. So never do it. Like, you will be missed. You'll be missed by more people than you think, because it's kind of funny, like, you may think no one cares about you, but then if you actually stop and think about it, like, if you really stop and think about the closeness to you, because I always joke that you only need 3 to 4 friends, but when I think about it, I've got way more friends than that. Like, I just, like, look at it, it's like, and it's kind of funny, like, you'll go out with a group of friends, and you'll see people you haven't seen in years, and they are so excited to see you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even realize it. You're like, oh, holy shit, I must have done something really positive on this person, positive impression, something like that, because I haven't seen them in 5 years, and holy shit, they're so excited to see me.
Right.
Kind of thing like that. So there are people out there like that. Like, and maybe you just need to reach out and contact those people. And I feel like I'm getting to the end of Scrooge, where Bill Murray's talking about, like, like his whole thing.
Yeah.
Like his whole speech.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm getting there. So that's all I wanted to get through. Like, talk about my own personal experience, my own personal demons with it. We all go through them. Like, whether we all go through depression, whether it's not at the point where you actually think about killing yourself, or it's just like you're just down.
Well, I mean,
But-
I've had those thoughts once or twice before as well, but you know.
I think all of us have.
I think at least at one point of our lives we do. Some get closer to that than others.
Yeah.
I'd say that I've maybe not gotten as close as you have, but you might remember the night that I was texting you and Kevin a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into details with that because honestly, when I think about it, it seems kind of dumb. But in the mindset that I was in by the end of the night, I see why I was thinking about it.
Yeah, we get there. Like, we all get low. I mean, and like I said, just talk to somebody, anybody, teacher.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's helped me through, so there was a certain time, actually about 5 years ago, that I was going through something, and what kind of snapped me out of it was a friend actually died while I was going through this thing, and she didn't pass due to suicide. She actually died due to asthma. So
really,
yeah. So that kind of that woke me up, and essentially what that did was I thought to myself, my friend just lost her life, and she didn't have a chance to live through it, and it wasn't her choice.
Yeah.
Why am I going to sit here and wallow in self-depression and what I'm going through when I'm still breathing? You know what I mean? So from that point on, I always told myself that no matter how hard things get, I will never let my situation dictate what I do with my life. So sometimes you have to kind of just take a step back and allow yourself to realize that you're healthy, you're still breathing, you have a chance every second to turn that thing around. So we implore you, we encourage you to do just that. And if, just like Josh said, talk to somebody, talk to us. We like to talk. We will listen. So I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, we engage with
we're
our
not
audience.
we're not here to just feed you just things that we think that you want to hear. We will actually listen. So keep that in mind, because we all go through it, but because we've gone through it, we will know how to help you get through whatever it is that you're going through.
Yeah, and I also, one thing that really helped me is, like, that's when I really started hitting the gym hard. So I always kind of worked out. And actually, kind of side story, I found, I knew where it was, but I started going through this old hard drive I had. Just pulling up pictures from when
I thought you were
Sean
going to say porn, but keep going.
No. There's no porn on that hard drive.
not on that hard drive.
Pictures of, like, Sean when he was baby and stuff
Fascinating.
like that. And I found a picture of when Michelle and I were at the beach. This was when he was maybe a year old. God damn, was I out of shape. Like, I was fucking disgusted with how I looked. Like, I looked at the pictures like, damn. But yeah, like, part of me that helped me get through my depression was hitting the gym. And it was kind of funny, our good buddy Tyler, who's been on the podcast many times, like, I remember when I first started hitting the gym, so he's like, hell yeah, get Triple H Jack, and then she'll just be crawling back to you. I was like, it's not quite the reason I'm doing it, but yeah, like that. The gym has become an outlet to me. For those of you who've checked out the Buff Nerds videos, you've seen like the progress we've made. But the gym has always been a release for me. Like I remember, it was like 2.5 years ago, when I was pretty much over my divorce, but I was watching the show The Americans, and there was something. There was an episode that kind of like really hit home, like that I really hadn't thought about my divorce and things like that in a while, but there was just like this episode that just like really hit home, like, and just kind of like it was like a gut punch for them. Like you might remember this or not, Nelson, but I was like, I yelled up to you because this is when you first started living with me. I was like, hey, you gonna be here for a while? And you're like, yeah. I was like, cool, I'm gonna go to the gym for like an hour. Because like Sean was home and stuff like that, and I couldn't leave him home, and like it was at a time of day when the daycare center wasn't open. I was like, hey, do you mind keeping an eye on Sean? I gotta hit the gym because this is like that became like a stress mechanism for me too. It was like if I was really feeling stressed out, I'd go for a long run or I'd go work out, something like that. So another thing, like if you're feeling low, you're feeling depressed, get some sort of hobby, something that relieves the stress. Like one thing for me, like is kind of a joke that I have with Nelson at the gym when I'm spotting him. I was like, I'm not spotting you on this one. Death is your spotter. Your motivation is not to die. Get this weight off of you. And that was kind of a thought with me because, like, if I'm, like, lifting heavy weights, my whole mindset is on this is 300 pounds over my chest. I can't think of anything else other than getting this 300-pound weight off of my chest.
Right.
And so for me, working out, and another thing like running, like, I can't like lose myself into like depressing thoughts. Like when I'm running, I'm focusing on the run, I'm focusing on breathing, I'm focusing in on my stride, things like that. So definitely finding things that take your mind that take your mind off what is depressing you, and you have to focus on the event you're doing. And that could just be like playing Overwatch, competitive. Like that could be like just playing video games, something like that. Something that requires you to actually think about what you're doing and takes your mind off of what is depressing you. And that can always work out. And I always like to say, going for a run, working out, because that betters yourself, like that makes yourself healthier. And you don't have to lift weights to the extent I lift weights, but at the same time, if you go for a run, if you just go for a workout, not only does that take your mind off it, but it also releases endorphins in your brain. It gets you a natural high, which many people might be familiar with the term runner's high. It will give you a natural high, and I know even though every time I'm done at the gym, I feel tired and exhausted, and depending on how heavy I lift, pretty sore. But I always feel good about myself. Like I've never left the gym feeling bad. Like I always feel good about myself. Like it's one of those things like, man, I feel like I really did something today. Like, man, I lifted that weight, you know, set a new personal record, did this, did that. Or it's just like in my mind, like I burned a shit ton of calories.
Right.
So it's like I've never left the gym, which is why I always tell people like, hey man, it's a good stress relief because I've never left the gym feeling bad.
I definitely agree with that, especially
where I have left
playing
playing Overwatch feeling shitty.
Yeah.
When we have really bad games.
The funny thing is, you can tell how good I'm feeling when I leave the gym if I have a smoothie in my hand. Like, oh, I feel really good. Let me get a smoothie.
Yeah, so it's definitely like we're gonna move to lighter topics now.
Yes.
But, yeah,
let's
definitely
get
like we said, text us, DM us, comment on the video. If you need help, you know, reach out.
Or even if you want to just email us, clashofthenerds1@gmail.com.
Yeah. I don't recommend the email. We don't check the email that
much.
I mean, Twitter is probably the best app.
It's the best way, but you know what? I will see it because I actually have it hooked up to my phone.
It's on my phone too. But usually when I get notifications for it, it's something from YouTube. It's like, I don't want to see that. It's usually,
I always...
It's usually bad news.
I always check to see what it is.
Yeah, usually when YouTube emails us, it's about something being monetized. Or
Hey guys, so
copyright
we're
claim.
pulling your video.
Yeah, so I usually like, no, I'm not looking at that.
You mentioned he who shall not be named, so we're going to pull your video. What, Logan Paul?
Dude, it's been everything in my power not to just spam YouTube on Twitter for that shit, but I was like, no, I'll let the bigger YouTube channels handle that.
I'm sure there's a lot of people spamming.
Oh, there is like a ton of YouTube channels are. In fact, I know all the Funhouse guys have been like retweeting and tweeting at YouTube about that bullshit. Rooster Teeth, like I said, Boogie, Matt Pat, like all the like people I follow are not happy about it. But we're gonna move on to live stuff. This was something we were supposed to do last week and the week before, but we got sidetracked. So I want us to name, and if you don't have 5, that's fine. Top 2, top 3, top 5 video games, top 5 movies of 2017.
I thought we did that.
2017. I don't know if we did it for 2017.
I thought we
No,
did
we
top
did
five
that
for something.
We did it for Genesis games because of the
Right.
the retro system.
Yeah,
that
we were
made
talking
it
about the
come
retro,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
those Sega games. For
even though I
systems.
put this on it like 2 weeks ago, I did not think about it that much. Number one, Overwatch. Didn't come out in 2017. Still my favorite game. No. So my favorite games of this year. For me, my game of the year is going to go to Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Okay. Yep.
That was just an amazing game. It was a game I could not put down. Much like how Fallout and Metal Gear Solid 5 when I first got them, I would legitimately get lost. I would usually when I do my serious gaming is after I put my son to bed, and I would start playing. I would just start playing the game at 8:30 at night, and then all of a sudden it'd be 2, 3 in the morning, and I didn't even realize it. I'd play it on my commute.
Right.
And I was like, will I beat this before Japan? Because it came out in early March. We left in April. And I did, but I still, the entire flight over to Japan, I was for the most part playing that, trying to find more temples.
Right.
So that definitely took up a lot of my time. It was a game I could not put down. Second place probably would have to go to Super Mario Odyssey. And those two could really just swap places. Those two were just fantastic games.
Every time I saw you play it, I could tell you were enjoying it.
Oh, it's just so much fun. It's not a hard game at all, but it's just a joy to play.
No, I enjoyed it vicariously because I don't have a Switch yet, and Josh showed me after you beat the game, you can unlock pretty much the original Mario 64 world.
Nice.
Yeah.
And have a skin to make you look like Mario 64.
Yeah.
Which I thought was freaking awesome.
So that's in there. I would say, and I might get wrong with this, but Ghostlands Recon, that came out this year, right, Jason?
Yes, I believe it did.
That is a game Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. That's a game we've had a lot of fun with.
Yeah. Especially most recently.
Yeah, we've been doing the Predator missions. We
still haven't beat him.
No, he's really.
I don't. Yeah, you were right. I don't know if we're gonna beat him before that event ends.
Yeah, we've got a week to do it. I'm just looking over my game case. Honorable mentions, because these... Oh, actually, number 4, South Park sticker... sorry, not sticker truth, Fractured But Whole.
Yeah.
That game's hilarious. If you're a South Park fan, it's a must. It's like watching a South Park movie. It's just hilarious. I do like how the difficulty scale was how dark your character's skin color with, which is, again, brilliant of the South Park creators on, just social commentary.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, it doesn't actually make the game harder. Your character just earns less money after each battle. That's it. That's all it changes in the game. But I just an opening joke, the opening salvo for that game was that in the character creator thing. And again, it's just they're just on the cusp of social commentary. It's just and I feel it works with just the way the media's portrayed everything like that, and they just made that little poke and jab.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of true. We look at the way police have been treating
kind
people.
of, no.
Well, very true. How about that? But yeah, it was just a nice little satire humor. It's just sprinkled throughout the game. There's just all kinds of, they've got the PC principle in there. When you meet up with him, he teaches you how to be PC. So whenever you're in a battle and your enemy says something that's not PC, you get an extra hit on that opponent. So it's just the biting humor in that. And I'm gonna the rest of them are gonna be kind of honorable mentions. Fortnite Battle Royale was fun. PUBG's fun. Forza 7. The new Shadow of War. You know what doesn't make my list though? Destiny 2. Terrible. It also doesn't make my list. Battlefront. No, Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
That doesn't make my list.
No, that's because of the
loot boxes.
I just never got into the Destiny games. They felt like Halo Light to me.
Well, that and plus
every time
Josh put it best. Battlefront 2 was a vanilla shooter.
Yeah, it's just an average shooter that has a Star Wars.
That if it didn't have the Star Wars,
I wouldn't be
franchise?
compelled to play. I don't think a lot of people would be compelled to play. It's just
okay.
It's
I
just
watched
an
him play
average
it. I'm
shooter.
like, this. It doesn't feel great.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just there. It's just
It's not the worst game
Yeah.
in the world, but at the same time, there's nothing compelling about it outside of the fact that it's got a Star Wars.
So
skin
for my
on it.
top 5 movies, I would say my number 1 movie this year would have to be Thor Ragnarok.
Yes.
Went to see that twice. I would have seen it more if I had more time. It was just a funny movie. That's what I feel like summer blockbusters, even though it came out in November. are supposed to be. It's just a movie that is a good movie. You enjoy it. You have fun with it. That was Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Number 2 would be Baby Driver.
Yeah, I'm not with you on that.
Did you watch that?
I did see it.
Okay.
For free on the airplane because that was the only way I was gonna see it.
Okay, but what did you actually think about it? Because I don't think we ever got your thoughts on it.
I honestly could have done without it. There was nothing in the movie that jumped out to me. Like there was nothing about the movie that excited me because everything that kind of happened, I more or less expected it to happen.
I was very paint by numbers for the plot.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're as much of an Edgar Wright fan. I know you like Scott Pilgrim
I
vs.
love
the World.
Scott Pilgrim.
But I don't think you're much of an Edgar Wright fan as me and Sasonar. So I don't know.
Yeah, because I recall you saying that you didn't particularly care for like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End.
Yeah, well, I think that's mainly because of the type of humor, more or less.
So it just seems like Edgar Wright's, with the exception of Scott Pilgrim, is not really your bag.
Right.
Which,
Which is acceptable. That's fine.
It happens.
Yeah. So Baby Driver would be my number 2. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 would be my number 3.
I'm actually kind of surprised you ranked Baby Driver higher than that.
So I was actually gonna think that you were gonna say Guardians as
number 2.
It's like
just changed his mind.
No, it's like 2A, 2B. They could swap. Like I enjoyed them both immensely.
Yeah.
I just feel Guardians 2 with the humor too close to Thor Ragnarok. You want a little buffer in there. You don't want to throw 2 cosmic comedies out there.
2 cosmic Marvel comedies in there.
Staying on the cosmic world, number 4 would be The Last Jedi. Like I said, after a second viewing of it,
Kind of surprised you put it that high too. Yeah, go ahead.
after a second viewing of it, I enjoyed it more. Like it was a movie that after watching it a couple,
More than once.
you know what? Shit, did Logan come out this year?
I was just about to say like
Logan came out in February this year, didn't it?
it sure did.
Son
I'm
of a
like
bitch.
See, it's getting
so
confusing.
while he's
I'm trying to
talking-
remember
so-
what movies came
Yeah.
out.
So while you're talking about it, I'm thinking in my head, why hasn't he mentioned Logan yet?
1 Thor, 2 Logan,
Okay.
3 Baby Driver.
Because I wasn't sure.
4 Guardians.
No, Baby Driver
5.
needs to be number 4 on
5 The Last Jedi. And then honorable mention, and this, I think it came out in 2017 or late 2016, Allied.
I haven't watched it yet. I want to.
Oh, that was right. That was Keenan who watched it. I was like, didn't you watch it with me
No,
last
I hadn't
weekend?
seen it yet. I hadn't
It's
seen
like,
it
no,
yet.
Keenan watched it with me. It's a really cool movie. It's about 2 British spies during World War II. And that's all I'm going to say, even though the trailer kind of says more. But Keenan had never seen the trailer, so he went in completely blind for that
really?
movie. So going in completely blind.
Because I know it's on Amazon right now, so I
Yeah,
gotta go watch
going
it.
in completely blind for him, like halfway through the movie when the real plot kicks in, that like hit him like a ton of bricks. He didn't see that coming. Where it's mentioned in the trailers what that plot is, which I won't say. But it's a really good movie. It's got this like mystery to it because it does a great job of. So my biggest complaint with Star Wars: The Last Jedi was, other than the Canto Bight thing, that was stupid, the whole casino thing, but why the commander was keeping the evacuation plan away from Poe, because it felt like all she was doing was keeping it away from the audience. Like that's all they were doing. Like I feel that plan should have been told to everybody, unless there would have been, and they could have fixed that too with a line there. She's like saying like, "There's a mole.
Yeah,
we don't
exactly.
want to leak it out."
Exactly, because
So-
I remember hearing or reading something about. I think they tried to do it in the way that there was a mole. She's trying to keep away from a mole, but they never said anything about a mole. So
and which made it feel like they're keeping it. But the mystery in Allied is because we are with Brad Pitt the entire time. He is our eyes into the world. The mystery is being kept from him, so it's being kept from us because. I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's really any scenes where Brad Pitt's not in the movie. It's almost like a first person kind of thing. Like we're with Brad Pitt the entire way. Like I'm really trying to think of any scenes in that movie where Brad Pitt isn't like, he might not be on camera, but he's there in the area of the scene. So so that's why that mystery works, because we are with Brad Pitt. We are seeing this world through Brad Pitt.
Right.
But it's a really good World War II spy drama. Definitely worth a check out if you like history and stuff like that. Dunkirk also gets an honorable mention for me.
Did you already do your top 5?
Yeah, I'm just doing honorable mentions now.
I'm gonna mess with you for a second. So Your top 5, you've already said. What about Wonder Woman?
No, that doesn't make my top 5.
Okay. That's all I
Because
really
I've already said that's a good movie.
Yeah.
But it's not great. It's like I feel the praise it gets is, again, people overcompensating. It's like, oh, and what I love is, like, this is the first superhero movie directed by a woman. No, it's not. Punisher Warzone. That was I can't think of the director's name.
Yeah, but that was directed by a woman.
And she might not even have been the first. I'm not even. I wasn't
Maybe
even.
DC.
Huh?
Maybe DC movie.
Maybe DC movie. I'd have to go look in. But and also
probably DC.
And also, a lot of people say it's the first female superhero movie. No, it's not. First good one, but not the first
good one. Might I direct your attention to Barbed Wire?
Catwoman.
Tank Girl.
Supergirl, Tank Girl.
Oh, Supergirl would probably be the first one in all honesty. The first superhero woman.
So it's like I think people just overcompensate because it was good, but it really ripped off Captain America: The First Avenger.
A lot.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoy the movie, I do enjoy the movie.
Yeah, I enjoy it. And honestly, I think what makes that movie is not the story, is not the plot. It's the chemistry between Chris Pine and Gal Gadot. Because if those two,
it's just Gal Gadot in uniform.
Yeah, that too. But the thing about that movie is those two make that movie because it's a very paint by numbers plot. It's a very paint by numbers movie.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for those two on screen, it wouldn't have been that good.
I kind of like that his short little friend, the one.
The secretary.
No, the guy that was supposed to be like the smooth talker.
Oh, the Arab guy.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah, he was the cast was pretty good.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying like those two together.
Oh yeah, those two were the most compelling.
Which also kind of funny thing about Dunkirk is a lot of people don't know Tom Hardy's in that movie, but he's completely in a cockpit of a plane with a mask muffling his face.
So you'll never know.
I was joking with Nelson while watching Dunkirk because like I think Chris Nolan got irritated by how good looking people said Tom Hardy was in Inception, so he's just like, I'm gonna keep casting Tom Hardy. But his face is going to be covered, and his mouth and his voice will be muffled. So you'll have no idea.
Oh, you'll never know that it was me, Tom Hardy.
But Dunkirk was actually a pretty badass movie, and it's very intense too. Like, because I knew the story of Dunkirk, and I was telling this about Nelson. I got to do some research because I want to see if these people that we follow in the movie are real people, or it's just like a historical fiction, where we just follow avatars throughout the thing, just to give us the experience of what the soldiers went through.
Right. Now, going back, I will say that I would put Wonder Woman above Baby Driver.
Well, yeah, we've already discussed you're not a big fan of Baby Driver. I really enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed the soundtrack. I enjoyed the plotting. I enjoyed the car chase scenes. But yeah.
You know they killed the all-wheel drive in the Subaru to make it do the stunts, right?
Yeah. Which also, I didn't get a chance to tell you this. So, the actor who plays Baby.
I saw the clip.
Him doing the donuts.
Which is actually in a car that's got its all-wheel drive back, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had several cars they used. So, I mean, probably for a lot of the stunts, they had a non-all-wheel drive Subaru Outback, and then for just the regular shots, one that wasn't really modified because I'm sure taking all-wheel drive off a car is probably expensive.
Conversions, well, yeah. But
because I remember looking into converting.
Not something I could probably.
I remember looking into converting my Protege to an all-wheel drive because they had all-wheel drive Proteges in Japan. That was very expensive.
Converting it from front-wheel drive. Yeah. Yeah, that's not something that anybody would really ever take on.
Yeah, I was just looking into it because I knew that those kind of cars existed. So another case of Japan getting cooler Japanese cars than we get
because they make them.
Yeah, they make them and they don't think there's gonna be a market for them in America. Like, have you seen that freaking diesel Mazda 6 wagon?
Nobody wants that here in the States.
I want it.
You don't make up.
The guys at Jalop want it.
You don't make up the majority of. They don't make up the majority. Otherwise, every car would still be manual.
That's why I hate the American car buying public because we buy stupid big SUVs that are too big for us instead of where a really good station wagon would serve that purpose way better. Lower carbon footprint, better gas mileage, and just sexier. Good lord! Like, have you seen those Audi wagons, people? I would trade in my Lincoln for an A6 wagon in a heartbeat if those were in the States. But those were my top 5-ish because I went over with honorable mentions. Izzo, top 5 games. Which you might not have 5 games.
I don't have 5.
I don't even have 5 games.
I don't have 5 games, so I will leave you with 5 movies. I will say this: I loved Thor Ragnarok. Loved it. Absolutely
it was
loved
really
it.
good.
But it's not,
another movie I
it's
left
not my
off
number
though.
one.
It. Like
Oh my god!
I actually saw a ton of movies this year. I don't normally see that many movies
Yeah,
in here.
I can't even remember how many movies I saw because I was with you with a lot of them.
Yeah,
So-
but yeah, so I would probably have to redo my top 5. But yeah, it would definitely be an honorable mention at least.
So, I'm actually gonna put Thor at number 2. I'd put Logan at 1. The only reason why I say that is because
It was a really good movie.
it was a fantastic movie. But you saw a side of Logan that you're not
Used to see.
you're not used to seeing it
Yeah.
seeing it at all. It's a very personal, like
Yeah.
emotional, like connection that you feel that you have with this character. Like they should have done this with the Logan movies before, and they would have had like much more success with it than they had. You know
Well,
what
I think the
Like,
reason why they didn't, they were afraid to, and it wasn't until desperation because the X-Men movies were making less and less money, and the success of Deadpool that allowed for it to happen.
So I know that. So I know that that's mainly the reason. But the issue that I have is that the movies that we were seeing in the early 2000s with the X-Men, we were adults.
Yeah.
And honestly, I thought that they catered to the wrong group. Yeah, I get it. You know, you want to sell toys, you want to sell video games, and all the rest. But that was the late 80s, early 90s mind state of how
Yeah.
you pitch movies. A lot had changed in that last decade at that time. So now that we have gotten older, now that we've got, and I'll actually bring this up later on as well too. But for instance, Power Rangers. I'm not saying that that's in my top 5, but what I am saying though is that a lot of the backlash came from people that grew up with it. So
You never saw it though, so you don't have a right to talk.
But
That's why I didn't say anything except for that.
right, but essentially with that being said though, I think that they should have catered it more towards the people that essentially more or less grew up with it. And instead of trying to
I think the
move it
problem
or-
with
or
Power
whatever.
Rangers was they tried to do both. They tried to cater to the original
Yeah,
fans
that's the thing. They should have
and
picked one way
try
or
to
the other.
get
Right.
a new group of fans in
Right.
there.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing for me. It's like it didn't seem like it had a clear direction on which way it was going, whether it was going to cater to me or if it was going to cater to a general audience to try to get new fans. It definitely did not really connect to the TV show, which, with the first movie, the original movie, that was kind of annoying to me as a kid because I was in the age range then as the kids are now
Right.
that would be watching this movie thinking, who are these people and why is this not connecting to Power Rangers Ninja Steel
Right.
or whatever
Wait,
the
what?
fuck they were doing right now? I know that was the most recent one. The most recent show was called Ninja Steel.
Oh, gotcha.
That's all I really know. That
We're talking about the first Power Rangers movie?
the original Power Rangers movie that came out when we were kids, it didn't connect to the TV show at all.
It didn't.
Yeah, in fact, they just ended up redoing certain aspects of the movie in the TV show.
Right.
Kind of like now, this movie, it didn't really cater to the older audience that grew up on it, but it didn't 100% cater to the kids that are watching Power Rangers now, or there's more or less trying to get new people in.
Yeah. So what I will say about the new Power Rangers movie, so that would actually be my honorable mention. It is enjoyable. What I liked about it was that it wasn't the bubblegum pop 90s cliche TV show that we loved growing up.
Where
It was
ethnicity
darker, it
wore
was-
their colors.
Well, moving away from that, it was a little bit grittier. You know,
And
what I mean? Like,
I like how Billy had autism in it.
right.
And it wasn't like a joking autism. Like that kid who plays Billy is
Oh.
fantastic. I can't wait to see him in more stuff.
Yes.
Because one of my nephews, he's on the spectrum. He has autism. And I've seen I don't want to say struggles because he doesn't really struggle, but I've seen him dealing with it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I've seen it in real life. And I'm not talking about your ADHD autism. I'm talking about legit he has to have 7 pickles on his hamburger and if
He's got the OCD part of it.
yeah, and if you I I was kind of thinking about this. Like he'd always line up the placemats perfectly on the table when we'd have like family get-togethers, and I'd fuck him up. Because
yeah, so did your son. I saw him do it.
Because he was watching his dad do it.
Yeah.
But it was like, because he'd have to it wasn't like the placemats were lined up perfectly squared, but there'd be like lines on the placemats. You have to line up the lines perfectly squared, which would irritate my OCD, because my OCD was like, no, the placemats have to be squared. Design on the placemats be damned. But no, so I've seen like legit because that autism, like what I really liked about the Portrayal of Billy is like his autism really reminded me of my nephew's autism, and to see that like not played for a joke, not played for laughs, but played for as an actual character trait in a character, and that it wasn't necessarily a disability for Billy, like it actually like his OCD helped him be the first one to transform.
Right.
So, like, that's what I really liked about it, because usually when you see something like autism or something like that, like take the Big Bang Theory, Sheldon.
Yeah.
He obviously is on the spectrum, but they play that for laughs.
Right.
Which I think is, like, very disrespectful to people with autism. Like, you shouldn't play for laughs. Like, it should be played in a serious, like, almost like a Rain Man quality, like Dustin Hoffman did in Rain Man. Like, it's, I don't want to call it a disease, but it's an affliction, I guess, is a better description for it, to where it affects people, and it definitely affects people in different ways.
Right.
But like, I did like how the movie took it seriously, and it was a big part of the character. Like, it didn't define the character though; it was just a character trait. Which, for a movie about giant mech robots fighting a giant gold monster, was actually a really good like part of that movie. Which is why I hope they make sequels off it, because I feel there's building blocks there.
I think there's more to it there, yeah.
Yeah, because I enjoyed the movie too. But
so what I will say is maybe that'll slide into my 5 because I did forget about that part. You know, the kid that played Billy's character, he did a phenomenal job, phenomenal. If anything else, Nelson, like that kid played the part.
I've been trying to tell him, and he won't watch the movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I get where you're coming from, so I'm not even gonna push it. So Logan number 1, Guardians Volume 2. S2.
I thought Thor was number 2.
Thor, yes. Thor 2.
You see, he's getting confused now. That's why there was a buffer.
Yeah. So Logan.
And Power Rangers can't be that buffer because it's the same movie.
Logan number 1. Thor number 2. Guardians 3. 4.
Did you see it?
No. It's not really my thing. I don't know what 4 would be.
You can throw Power Rangers in there.
No, because Power Rangers has to be 5 for me.
Has to be 5. Wonder Woman?
No.
You said that was over Baby Driver. So.
It is, but
well, I didn't expect Baby Driver to make top 5.
But the problem with Wonder Woman is the fact the way that they set
that
up
falls
the
apart
plot in the very beginning. I had more questions about. I had so many questions. Like, how does Zeus create a god-killing creature like Wonder Woman, but he's not powerful enough to kill his brother? But she's powerful to. She's more.
It was a lame excuse, but she's half god, and only a god can kill a god.
But the problem is that she's only half.
Yeah.
Like
same
comic books.
What?
Mythology. Same thing with Hercules. Hercules was only half. He kill gods.
Right. Well, so and
what
once
guy
again,
did Hercules kill?
I'm trying to remember.
Because I've done extensive studies on myths, and I've got the books.
I might be confusing Hercules.
You might be thinking of just the video games God of War.
No, because Hercules was only in one of them.
All right, finish your top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I'll just leave you with 4, because that's all I have.
And everything else is an honorable mention.
So Power Rangers, number 4 then, and Wonder Woman has to be honorable. It doesn't touch top 5 for the, like I said, pure fact that actually, so maybe I will throw in the Last
Spider-Man?
Jedi.
I was gonna say, did you see Spider-Man: Homecoming?
I did see it. I don't know how I feel about that.
The thing is, like, I really liked it when I first saw it, and then subsequent viewings, it's still good, but
it
I
loses
don't.
its luster.
It's not. To me, honestly, it's not Alexander Garfield good, because I really enjoyed the way
You
that
mean Andrew Garfield.
Andrew. Well, yeah, whatever.
Well, see,
I really enjoyed the way that he portrayed Peter Parker versus Tom Holland.
Yeah, but one thing Andrew Garfield didn't have is fucking Michael Keaton. God damn, Michael Keaton's a good actor.
Well,
So
yes,
good. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Now you're talking about Amazing Spider-Man 1, not 2, right?
No, I think he's just talking about Andrew Garfield's
In
acting
general.
in
Yeah,
general, because
just
Andrew
in general.
Garfield's
Okay.
just good in it.
He was good in it. I didn't particularly like him as Peter Parker. I thought he was a little too cool.
He was pretty good as
But
Spider-Man.
I liked him as Spider-Man. I really liked him as
yeah,
Spider-Man.
Which,
And I was disappointed.
we need to get off this trend of Brits playing Spider-Man, goddammit.
We've only
Hello, I'm Peter Parker.
We've only had
Sneak.
one American Spider-Man,
Yeah.
but at least the latest Spider-Man can actually do the majority of his stunts. With
Okay.
and a chunk of it without wires.
Right.
All right, Jason, your top 5. We are
Okay.
definitely running long.
My
We
top
got-
5, I
grand
will
total.
try to keep it concise, and my number 1 is going to be different from the other 2. I'm actually going with It.
Okay.
I liked It a lot to the point where it's number 1. Logan, Thor.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Guardians and then Spider-Man.
Okay.
All right, cool. Do you have a top 5 video games or a top 3, top 2?
I have a top 1,
All right.
and you already said it. It was Ghost Recon
Oh,
Wildlands.
you're gonna say Overwatch.
Well, we didn't get that in 2017 for one.
It's still my favorite game.
It's still one of my favorite games. I go with Ghost Recon because there was a lot of fun to be had before the Predator, and even though
Very much
the Predator is fucking hard as hell, and we're more than likely not gonna beat him before the end of the event, but
But Nelson, I'm glad your top 1 game, you talked about the Predator, because that leads me to my thoughtable, which is a perfect segue. Who would win in a fight? The Predator or Kevin from Home Alone? With Kevin having time to prepare booby traps.
What kind of thoughtable
what
is this?
the hell, dude?
What? Is he serious?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
dead serious.
And now I have to think about this because you fucking posed the fucking question.
Because Kevin has time to prepare now. It's not like the Predator just drops in on him. Kevin knows the Predator's coming.
We're talking about the Predator.
Yeah.
And we're talking about
Like Alien Predator.
we're talking
right?
about Home Alone 1, Kevin McAllister, where he's still a kid preparing for the Predator.
Yeah.
Or you're not talking about the weird Kevin McAllister from that weird short that
No.
Macaulay Culkin did,
No, we're talking about Kevin.
where he had PTSD.
He's got time to prepare for the Predator. Because I think the Predator's walking into this thing and like, oh, it's a kid. I kill him really quickly. Kevin's like, not any kid. He's got all the booby traps. set.
Hilarity ensues. Predator still wins
Yeah.
Nah, I'm going with
The
Kevin.
Predator's killing him.
I think Kevin wins.
because
I don't think so.
I think back to the movie. He'd get caught by the ice. He might get caught by the tar a little bit. He would step on a nail and keep going. He would probably still open the door that was red hot. The paint cans would bounce off of him. He would just step on the marbles and the micro machines. He might get got with what? Was there a flamethrower in that?
Yes,
in one
there
or two?
was. Exactly.
Flamethrower
He
1 or
wins.
2? Was it
One.
1 and 2? Was it 1?
One.
He would get got by that. That
Nelson's starting to
tarantula's
come
not
around.
going to do shit.
Nelson's coming around to me though. He's like,
No. Because
Keep in mind, it's the dead of winter. His heat vision ain't gonna do much once Kevin gets outside.
Kevin might escape. No. That's not true. Because in the dead of winter, even though Kevin McAllister's body temperature is dropping outside because he has no coat because he didn't grab it, he would still be warmer than everything else outside. He would be seen immediately, rocket just like
Shot
in freaking,
on sight.
just like in freaking Wildlands. Whenever I'm running, I just get knocked down because Steph was in my way and I got shot.
I like how you blame Stephanie for your shortcomings. Way to pace that buck. No, I'm going with Kevin because he's a sociopath, and he later becomes Jigsaw. We all know this to be true. Just sets up all kinds of booby traps for the Predator. Because he's not dealing with two stupid robbers here. He knows what's coming for him. And he's going to adapt. Because you saw him in New York. He didn't even have the home field advantage in New York. He adapted. The kid is a sociopathic killer. He's going to take the Predator down.
Honestly,
I don't see.
I will give you one. I will give you one more point.
Because he'll have razor wire.
I will give
not
you.
tripwire.
I will give you one more thing. I will say that Kevin McAllister in New York had a better chance. But I still stick with the Predator.
Next, I think he'd come with heavy duty. No paint cans coming down the stairs to the Predator. Fucking grenades and landmines swinging down the...
I don't know. I don't.
Like, how is a child gonna get freaking access to bouncing betties and freaking claymores and shit?
We don't know. We don't know what his dad does.
Christopher Columbus is not that good of a director.
Look at the size of that house. The dad is paying for flights for all his family to go to Paris, France, and then to Miami the next year. His dad's an arms dealer. That basement is full of weapons for Kevin to use at his disposal.
He would have had.
And what good did that do to Jesse friggin' Jesse Ventura? What good did that do for him?
Jesse Ventura tried to use straight brute strength against the Predator. It wasn't until Arnold started using his head when he became the governor that he actually beat the Predator. He had to set traps. He had to think. That's Kevin McAllister's game. Thinking. He's the thinkingest champ.
We're done here.
He's the cerebral assassin.
If Danny Glover can't take him down, I can't see.
Danny Glover did take him down.
He wounded him.
No, he killed him.
I can't remember
Because
number 2. I blocked it out.
I kind of want to watch Predator 2 now.
I blocked it. I don't have it, unfortunately.
We need to work on our editing skills. We need to do a supercut of Home Alone and the 2 Predator movies.
It would have to be mostly footage from Predator 2.
And on that bombshell.
Actually, it would work with Home Alone 2 and Predator 2, actually.
By the way, just on slow news weeks like this, prepare for thoughtables like this. I'm going to come up with absurd questions for us.
That was pretty retarded.
But you had fun with it. We all laughed.
Yeah.
Yes.
We all had a good time.
Yes.
It made me have to... I had to analyze both movies at the same time to come to my conclusion.
I almost broke Nelson.
Yeah, you almost broke my...
And on that bombshell, good night.
Oh, man. Yeah, you almost broke my fucking brain.
Yeah, expect more of those.